Welcome to the Sheffield United Way. My name's Hal. We're going to look back over Everton beating the Blades 1-0, a game that feels fairly insignificant. It was more of a case of just like getting over it now. Let's just get towards the end of the season. The real work starts, as we know, in the summer, but we're going to look through it. We do a match reaction for every game. You know, why would we stop now, years on? Even though for some, they'll have said, why are you bothering with this? Well, the fans bothered. Fantastic to see that incredible away following today for United. So vocal, so proud, goosebumps all the way through, all the way. I mean, literally right to the end and beyond the end, applauding the players and the management and the staff. We'll talk more about, of course, all of that. I really want your thoughts on this game. What did you make of it? You can, of course, go larger. You can talk about the season as a whole. You can talk about what we think we should do. You can even start to speculate on players and stuff like that. I mean, I don't mind that. Essay says, losing 1-0 feels like a minor victory. And you know what? That's probably a sign of the times and the state of where we are. And Trusty frightens me even when he hasn't got the ball. I think the thing with Trusty, and I'll probably talk about this as we go on, I thought he was going to be a really good signing for us. John says, just couldn't put more than 3 passes together. Hopefully, new side next season built around our best players. Who are our best players? That's another one I'll throw out there. Who do you think are Sheffield United's best players? I'd be really interested to know your thoughts on that. So let's go through it. Everton versus Sheffield United. I mean, with the lineup, it was quite hard initially to work out what the formation was. I hate the way Sheffield United on social media just do it by numbers, because they haven't always done that, and they haven't even always done that this season. So be consistent, whichever you're going to do. If you're going to do it all squad numbers, do it all squad numbers all the way through. If you're going to do it in position, then do it in position. But they didn't do that, and it was a little bit frustrating to see it and try and go, right, are we doing like a narrow kind of formation? Are we doing Vinny Souza at centre-back? Is that what's going to happen? A player that was booed onto the pitch as he was brought on last game, he's going to play out of position in his second to last game, let's be honest. So Foderingham, Bogle, Larouci, Robinson, Trusty, Souza, Hamer, Arblaster, Brooks, Archer, Ben Brereton and Diaz. One of our patrons, Darren Keeling, said, based on recent performances, I bet Everton are regretting not letting Holgate play against them. Patreon.com/Sheffield United Way if you want to share your thoughts with myself, with Nick, with Ollie, with a whole group of Patreons, and you get access to stuff early. There's already a few videos that we've got planned, and patrons get to see them before anyone else, and they've enjoyed that throughout the season. So if you want to do the same and support us, that'd be brilliant. So what formation did you think was going to be the one that came out? Birthday boy Max Lowe also made it onto the bench and eventually in the game would make it on 3 months out. Didn't think we'd see him again this season. Maybe never see him again, but we did today. And Billy Sharp there supporting in the stands. Great to see. How many loyalty points has he got, by the way? And in that first half, again, I want to say it, shouts to all who travelled. You know, our channel regulars, Nick and Ollie, went along to enjoy the sunshine and support the lads, as they both do so often. I lost count of my trips to Goodison Park, and it hasn't always been an enjoyable result. I remember I was actually there in 2006 when we lost 2-0, the last time before today that they beat us at Goodison. Pretty sure I got that right. And I actually thought United started quite well. You know, we often do. We're like Spain in 2012 for the first sort of minute of every game, but it was the Toffees who actually looked like taking the lead. When on 13 minutes, Dominic Calvert-Lewin laid it back in the box to Decore through the legs of Trusty, and Wes made a good save, tipped over at the second attempt for a corner, which came to nothing. Just on Trusty, we've already spoken about him if you've joined us from the very start. I really thought he would be a good signing for United, and maybe he'll do a Robinson and turn it all around next season. You know, he's the epitome of that new signing when we first brought him in, into a weak squad that doesn't really know each other and doesn't really know what they are. You know, under-resourced, no identity, in the hardest league in the world, and, you know, the situation difficult for him, and it's an unforgiving situation. And I thought, Trusty, when he first came in, it was like, why hasn't this guy been starting? And it's just petered off, and particularly in the air, he really does concern me. 28 minutes, Wes called into action again as a Dominic Calvert-Lewin shot was deflected off Arblaster and into the grateful hands of a falling Wes Lowe at his left-hand post, and then we had the goal. You know, Everton took the lead on the half hour. It was a dull start to this game, let's be honest, with only an Archer speculative effort to talk about from a Blades point of view. And then Dominic Calvert-Lewin rounded Wes, who went to ground very early, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin crossed at the byline, following a good pass from Dwight McNeil, and the cross found Decore open in the goal mouth, couldn't miss with a simple header. Jackie Longthrow making his best effort to get back, or was he just out of position? But it's a free header in a 6-yard box in the Premier League, and that was goal 101 conceded. One clean sheet, is that right this season? One? I can only remember Brentford at home. This has been a tough season, and this again is why the fans have been so incredible. Everton had 10 touches in our box by the 31st minute. The Blades had 0 in theirs. And Jackie Longthrow, our reliable captain, got a yellow. It was an interesting one, this. He pushed Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It was a very forceful push. There's 2 hands on the chest and our former player. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin also got a yellow for, I thought, instigating the whole thing. He originally shoulder-barged Robbo, and then maybe there was a bit of verbals, I don't know. But he got booked, apparently, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, for overly aggressive attitude. So, yeah, all load of nothing if you ask me. VAR looked at it and VAR said no red card. There were moments before the break, Pickford coming out twice to stop Sheffield United attacks. Really good save from Andre Brooks after he'd previously denied Archer a chance to get his shot away. But it came first half, end 1-0 Everton. Second half, double change for United. After coming out for the second unchanged, we then saw Lowe and Anis Ben Slimani on for the, how should we describe Larousse? Positionally pacey. And by that I mean he's often out of position and he uses pace to sort of cover his tracks, cover up. He's interesting, Larousse. He's not afraid to take the ball across the goal mouth, which, when I was about 4, I was told not to do. And Brooks, who I thought had a decent game, he went off. Arblaster got a yellow for a really good tackle, in my opinion, on 54. He won the ball. Sure, he got a little bit of the player's foot, but honestly, modern football, I hate it. I hate it so much with a passion. If I didn't love football from when I was a kid, and I just watched this current iteration of football, I wouldn't enjoy it. But the double change actually seemed to make a positive difference. And we started to come into the game more. A sighter, you could call it, from Ben Brereton Diaz, some good interplay and movement. And then Vinny Souza, after some good work from the whole team, firing a terrible cross out of play. We had bodies in the box. Sam Curtis came on for his debut for Ollie Arblaster. Not quite at it today, Ollie, but I thought, good, still good, but we've seen such high standards from Ollie Arblaster, and that change was 63 minutes. It just wasn't quite Ollie Arblaster today. But it was nice to see Sam Curtis. I did a video about Sam Curtis on this channel, so check it out if you get a chance. I liked seeing Jack Robinson blast a shot towards goal. It was a scrum of bodies, and I think he was just in the box, sat down for a half volley, and he had a shot. And I like seeing that. He went out for a corner on 72. And United were having, at this point, around 72 minutes, a lot more of the match. Archer often choosing the wrong options, but a constant thorn in the Toffees' side. I would say he was probably, for Everton, more annoying than effective. And that's probably the way I would sort of review Archer's entire time at Sheffield United. Bogle, probably quite good today. Certainly impressing more after a tough match defensively, definitely against Forest when he really wasn't at his best. But Bogle is one of our best. And I asked at the start of this video, who are our best players? Well, Bogle for me, and a player that has to be here next season as we look to rebuild. Everton were tracking back well. I think that's worth mentioning. Of course, I'm doing this from a Sheffield United point of view. If you're an Everton fan watching this, you'll be thinking, why is he not talking about Everton? Well, I don't support Everton, and I will mention at this point that I think you tracked back well when you didn't have the ball. When we had moments of possession, and it was moments, sort of fleeting moments. We had more possession in this game than we've had in many recent games. And, in those moments when we showed any kind of attacking intent, and they were few and far between, I thought Everton defended well. Rhian Brewster on, Archer went off on 80 minutes. Brewster was busy. I thought at any moment his hammy's going to go. We had a Harmer header go over the bar after decent work from Brewster and Slimani, but it was never really edge of the seat stuff, and that's probably the way I described this whole game. Wilder was actually booked at the death. It looked like strong words with the official. I think it was when Andre Gomez got hit with it was an accidental coming together with Slimani. I think he got hit around the eye, and I imagine Wilder didn't realise at that point how serious that was. I'm pretty sure he apologised afterwards. Florida Blade in our Patreon group said, for all the complaints, and they're valid, about our ownership and our spending and our season, Burnley's American ownership and flashy NFL star investment and Premier League icon manager only got them 8 more points than Sheffield United. That's probably something worth thinking about. Anyway, we'll just finish wrapping up the game. Wes went down with an injury after a save at the end. His Achilles was stood on. He was all right. Garner then blasted over the bar for Everton from inside the box. It was a tepid affair, came to a close, 1-0 defeat, and the season limps towards the finish. And in other news, we're talking about Burnley. So for the promoted clubs last season, Burnley relegated from the Premier League. No surprise. Johnny from Shoreham View got absolute pelters. He was saying it in response to something we put on social media that they would go down. He pretty much guaranteed it. He got a lot of grief, and he said, we'll come back to this at the end of the season. So, Johnny, you can have that one, mate. A 2-1 defeat by Tottenham cementing their relegation. Luton, I've been saying all season, Luton are going down, and Luton also on the brink following 3-1 loss to West Ham. So the Blades, 43% possession, 13 shots, only 1 on target. Ben Brereton Diaz with 3 of those shots, but none of his on target. Everton, 57% possession, 15 shots on goal, 6 on target. We did win 6 corners to Everton's 3, and that's the real quiz. So 16 points from 37. 40 points for Everton, 8 points deducted. If they got 48, they'd be level with Brighton without those deductions. So that's just something that Sean Dyche has done really, really well. Again, I'm going to say it, Blades fans were class. Nice to see the players and staff come over to applaud their efforts at the end. That win, by the way, worth around, an additional $3 million for Everton. Each league position matters, and they finished in good form. Let's go to some of your thoughts. It's not always that much fun looking back on these particular games, and it's been a bit of a slog this season, and we're just sort of carrying on, but interesting. Trusty, John Wallace. Trusty needs time. Absolutely, he's probably going to get it. Worst thing is Everton are shocking. Yeah, they weren't great today, were they? Brian says we don't have enough. We don't have enough of anything. We don't have enough money. We don't have the bodies. We've got great fans. Also, build the team around Arblaster. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Maybe McBurney. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if Ollie McBurney is a part of the club next season. Action location, Fods being Wes Fodringham, I've never heard him called that, plays out from the back. I scream, get upfield. Then when he does kick it upfield, I shout, don't do that. I mean, football players can't win. Overly aggressive attitude. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin got booked for a hate crime. I mean, it's an odd one, isn't it, that? I didn't really understand that myself. I mean, what is going on? Well, do you know what? It's a tough league. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but I try and look at it like, it's a really difficult league, and no matter what we'd done, I feel like we'd have gone down anyway. And I say that based on the fact that Burnley and Luton, now Luton did things the right way, really intelligent, cutting their cloth accordingly, really good scouting. Their recruitment was spot on for what they have. And Sheffield United don't have a lot of money. Luton don't have a lot of money. If we'd done it the way Luton had done, and we didn't recruit well, absolutely not. One of the worst transfer windows in our history. But Luton did recruit well, and they're still going down. But we're going down without heartbreak. We're going down like we've been known we're going down probably since Palace at home. Luton fans have had hope, and that hurts a hell of a lot more. The only player we need to keep is Bogle, my star boy. Probably need to keep a few more than that. Just because we'll need 11 at least. Jebbo, you know what, Jebbo? I was talking about Jebbo earlier today with a few friends, and what's actually going to happen with Jebbison. I think the ball is very much in his court. Does he want to sign with Sheffield United again? How does he feel about the club? Does he just want a fresh start after everything that's gone off the pitch with him, and he hasn't been well? Does he maybe want to change the scenery? And in a way, you could understand that. I want Jebbison to be here next season. I think he's got a big future, and I would really like that big future to be with the Blades. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. We will see. We'll see what happens with him. See what happens with other players. I'm going to do some videos, transfer talk videos about players that I think could come in, should come in. We'll see what happens with a number of these. I think there's some really exciting players out there. Have a look if you get a chance on the lists that are being released at the moment of players that are available for free. There are some really good players out there and some rubbish ones for free. And Sheffield United, I know which ones we'll probably go for, but I know which ones I'd like us to go for. And it is actually that time of the season because it hasn't been an exciting season. This time is mildly exciting. We can start to talk about players that could be in our side next season. And believe me, on this channel, we absolutely will. Thanks for watching.